All right. All right, it says that we're live, so I'm hoping that that is the case. Welcome everyone who's tuning into this. I'm here with Alex Haley from OfferingTree, and I'm really excited to be here. We're doing kind of like an office hour, so it's like a kind of like a pre-Christmas office hour since we're pretty close to the holidays now. And maybe Alex, you can start by just introducing yourself for people who aren't familiar with you, or maybe they've like heard you on the podcast, or they like know your name, they know of OfferingTree, but they've never actually like seen your face before.
Yeah, happy to introduce myself. First of all, welcome, delighted to be here. A little bit about my background. So I am, full disclosure, not a engineer, computer science person. So you're getting office hours with a fellow teacher here, which hopefully will be very practical and pragmatic. I just say that because if you ask super technical questions, I might have to say, I don't know, I'll get back to you. A little bit about my background. So as I mentioned, I'm a teacher. Primarily teach meditation, but also do movement as well. And I worked for a while as a co-manager in a yoga studio, have been very connected to the yoga world for many, many years, both in my own personal practice and my own study. And OfferingTree sort of came out of that connection to meditation and yoga, where I kept encountering the same challenges over and over again, where technology was becoming a barrier to actually having meaningful engagement, connection with students and clients. And that sort of really came to a crescendo when I was working at this donation-based yoga studio. They rolled out Mind Body Online, and it totally tanked the studio and the community vibe. And the owners actually had the courage to say, this isn't working, we're pulling the plug, rather than trying to plow through and make it work. So they pulled the plug, they turned to me and they said, you know a little bit about technology, what can you do? And I said, well, let me call some friends. So I called some friends, and that was the origin story of OfferingTree. We're set up as a benefit corporation, which means that part of our DNA is having a positive public impact. And so we do that in a couple different ways, trying to have educational events like this one, and then also offering a whole range of support. And our mission is really to further access and education around wellness and all of its various dimensions and aspects. And for me personally, my vision has always been to have technology be in the background and have all of the relationships and teachings be in the foreground. And so much of my struggle was it was the other way around. And so OfferingTree is our vision for trying to solve that problem. And it is perfectly imperfect. So I will say that at the outset. We are constantly improving. We're listening to the community, and that's a big aspect of ours, that we're constantly tweaking and adding to the system to try to make it better and better based on the feedback that we get. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. And I think just having worked with you guys and used your platform for the last couple of years, I can really attest to everything that you said, like, you know, setting, like creating something that is a little bit more simple for wellness entrepreneurs, yoga teachers, having it be about like the students and the interaction in the community while still having that tech piece there, but making it very user friendly, and then being able to listen to your community about what they need. And I know that that's something that's really important to you guys, and something that I really love about what you do at OfferingTree, where it's like people who are a part of OfferingTree actually kind of have a say in, you know, what's going to be rolled out the following year, which I really love. And with that in mind, can you maybe just give us an update on like what you guys have been working on through 2021?
Yeah, we've been working hard on a couple of aspects. So one has been this new website builder. So we had a lot of users that said, we love the system, it's easy, it's simple, and I want to be able to tweak and get in there and, you know, do some fancy stuff on my own. So we built this whole new content management system that allows you to really dive in, and you can tweak to your heart's content and make your own templates and do all this stuff. So that was a major feature release that we put out this year. In addition, we've been working really hard on the online store, because the new not normal is that so much is now this hybrid between in-person and online and needing to be flexible. I know, Amanda, you've shared with us as well, did a whole presentation on this about the importance of flexibility. And so that's been a key component. We've really worked quite hard to really round out a whole bunch of features in the online store. And then we've been also working pretty hard on the communication front. So we're about to roll out tags, which will allow you to create your own lists, each, create these custom tags that then will allow you to customize communications to different students and clients within your kind of contact database. And so really allowing for that personalized touch with communication.
Awesome. Yeah, that stuff is all really great. And I think maybe now is a good time we can dive into it a little bit. Maybe let's start with the website builder, because I feel like this was something I was personally quite excited to see you guys doing. And I know that, kind of a couple years ago when I first got introduced to you, it was like, okay, we're like a very simple website platform. And, the users have asked for, yes, simplicity, something that I can do myself, but also being able to like modify things and change things and stuff like that. So maybe can you walk us through that?
Yeah, happy to. So let me pull up my screen. And just a little note, sort of a high level overview. So you can think about, what is OfferingTree? In a sentence or less, OfferingTree is a truly all-in-one platform. So you can think about taking a website builder, payment processor, kind of a communication system like email marketing, and then online course builders or online teaching platforms. You put them all together, and all of those features are in one place. And that's the vision, is this truly all-in-one. So that's sort of a quick overview. What you're seeing here is this is a sort of this is a sample site. So I promised the engineers that if I broke it, they'd be okay with it. So this is me using a sample site, and this is what it looks like sort of out of the box. So if you were to create this, it's very quick. Again, another thing that we tried to do is make this very immediate. So you have these small wins, you feel a sense of confidence, and you're moving from overwhelmed to confident very quickly. So in the onboarding process, it's, I think, 2 screens, maybe 3, and then you basically land here where you get this website that, it's interactive, like you can upload the image, you can change the colors, the font, you can change a lot of this stuff. And it used to be the case that this was it. This is sort of the shell that we had. But now we've built out this new content management system that lets you, to your heart's content, kind of tweak a lot of things on this website. So if you don't want to mess with stuff, you can just stay with what we've provided and work. It's sort of like paint by numbers, where you paint within what's provided. But if you're like, nope, I'm the kind of person that wants to create my own style, then you can do that. So let me show you what that looks like. If you go into the back end of the system, and you'll see this is a sample site. So if I go back here, and you'll see now under edit website, it's changed. And we actually used to have a bunch of other settings, but now if you go to pages, you'll see that there's this home page, and you can actually change the home page. So if you want to create a new home page, tweak it, edit it, you can do all that. If you want to duplicate it and save it for later, you can do that. So the new website builder, if you hit create a page, it'll give you some stock templates, and we're going to be adding a whole bunch more of these in the new year. I'll pick one just as an example. It'll sort of give you, an idea of what it looks like. If I select this template, then it actually allows me to start building. And each of these elements now I can actually dig into and start to customize. So like all the way down to button color and action settings. So if I hit edit, it'll say I can change the label, I can change, what it's doing, I can change its appearance, I can change its style, I can make a copy of it and paste it somewhere else in the page, I can move it up and down, I can change the images. I can now add in a whole bunch of stuff around SEO. We didn't used to allow the ability for each page to have its own metadata descriptions, but you can do that. You can change page access settings. So is it published? Is it members only? Is it unlisted? And there's just a lot more here. There's page styles. There's all kinds of things you can do. And you can also build this stuff from scratch. So if you wanted to edit the template, you can click into like a new section, you hit a plus, they'll say, well, what are you trying to add here? Button, code block, there's a whole bunch of things. You can even, the really cool thing is that you can take baked in features, like the newsletter sign up, for example, and you can drop it right into the page. So it allows you to take our functionality and build it into the system however you want to build it. So if you don't like the way that we initially designed it, you can say, I want to create a sign up page that's got this built-in newsletter sign up, and you can just add it right in. And then if you're like, nah, I don't really like that, then you just hit delete and it goes away. So you can really, to your heart's content, get in there and start tweaking around. So we've had a lot of people that love to geek out on design get really excited about this because there's so much flexibility. Whereas before we let you kind of like edit the text, but not really the container. Now you can edit the container. Now, for those of you that are listening that are like, no way, I don't want to touch this. This is not something I want to do. You don't have to worry about that, because what you can do is you can use these templates and you can go in and you can just click in and start editing the text and say, let's say, check out my yoga classes. And you can just update this template to have it be whatever you want it to be. And you don't have to mess with the actual architecture. So that's sort of the beauty of this, is that we have these templates that provide scaffolding for you to kind of work within. But if you're like, nah, I want to go outside the lines, I want to do my own thing, you can do that.
Cool. Yeah, this is really awesome. And it looks so like simple and straightforward too, as you're clicking around with like being able to just kind of make edits to it in terms of like colors, text, what you want the buttons and everything to say, and then also being able to add things. And then it looked like when you added that newsletter that then there was like arrows to move things up and down.
Yes, I can show you that. So it's, again, it's meant to be as intuitive as we can make it, which is, it's not always easy to make things intuitive. So if you wanted to move this block up, you just hit up and it moves it up. If you want to move it down, you hit down. So it's, you're absolutely right. The design is meant to feel intuitive, like, oh, that's an up arrow. Oh, that's a down arrow. Oh, that's a copy arrow. If I wanted to copy that, I just duplicated it. So, and if I want to delete it, I delete it. And if I want to edit it, then I can edit this. And then I can say, I want it to be left, or I want it to be right justify, I want it to be center. If you wanted to have a different background style, if you want to make it full width, I mean, there's all these little things that you can tweak within the settings, and you get to those more advanced options just by hitting this little pencil edit icon.
Awesome. And so if somebody's setting this up for the first time, you said they have the option to kind of keep like the original container that you guys have been working with, or
Yep.
They can create something more custom like this.
Correct. And I can show you that. So if you go back to pages, what you'll see is it, just had that custom page that I created. So there it is if I ever wanted to go back and edit it. We provide some out of the box pages. And if you like our homepage, but you wanted to edit it, you can hit edit. And there's that template that you saw on the homepage. And so if you're like, I just want to update some of the text in here, then you just click into the text and you can kind of update that, and it'll just keep the text that. And so you don't have to change into the building blocks themselves, if that makes sense. And you can update your metadata, you can do all of that stuff. And so it's really just, you click in and you can start to sort of edit the different text blocks that you want to edit. So it's really designed to be pretty intuitive and allow you to either paint by numbers if you want to do that, or create your own canvas and go wild.
Awesome. And with this one, are you able to add things like, say we wanted to add like the email newsletter, can we add that to this page?
Yep. So same thing, you'd click on an element, like let's say this is the container and you wanted to put it after the container, or maybe you wanted to put it after this block. So you can just sort of click in where you want to add it. Let's say I wanted to put it at the top, for example, I can click in and say, let's add in the newsletter, and there it is. So cool. Same thing as before, it allows, that sort of option to build out and make it customizable.
Cool. Yeah, this is really great. I love this. What kind of feedback have you guys received so far from OfferingTree clients?
We've gotten everything from finally it's here to, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this. And we're like, okay, well, that's okay. Because it's, with any of this, the system is designed to allow you to, it grows with you. And that's one of the principles that we use. So I can go back and show you what I mean by that. So if I go back to pages, let's say, you're not ready for blogging, right? And we have a whole blogging functionality and feature. All you have to do is you slide this little thing and you click on publish, and then blogs is no longer active on your website. It's there when you want to use it, but you don't have to use it if you're not ready to use it. And then, maybe 6 months from now you go, okay, I'm ready. Then you slide it on and you can start using that feature. Same thing's true with the website builder. If you're just getting started and you want to get up quickly and you want to have, a nice looking site, but you edit some of the form and functionality of it, you can just click into the homepage as it is, hit edit like I just did, and then you can start tweaking some of this text. And you'll have and you can change the image. I mean, you could change all these different elements and you'll have a really nice looking website in minutes. And then down the line, maybe a year from now, you're like, I really want to start playing around with these features. All you have to do is you can go back to pages and, if we like to save work, so I would just hit duplicate and then you can say copy homepage and you might, put today's date, which is the 21st, I think, which is actually the winter solstice. Yay.
Yeah.
And you hit duplicate and then there it is. So if then you can kind of change and do all these things to your heart content. And if you're like, oh boy, oof, I don't like what I did there, you just go back and you change to that duplicate copy and it'll update it. And that'll be your new homepage. So you can create all these different custom things and then eventually switch what homepage. So you can even rotate your homepage on a sort of like seasonal basis if you wanted to, and have all these different copies. So you can work on them at different times. And then when you're ready, you just hit change and then you select from your custom pages that you created. And then you set that as your new homepage and that'll make your homepage.
Oh, that's really awesome. I've used WordPress for a long time. And so it's like, I can kind of visualize what like WordPress is like compared to this. And I feel like this is something that's really cool because being able to like change your homepage on most WordPress themes and stuff like that is just not as simple as like, hey, I've made like 4 versions of it and I want to just like choose one right now. It's way more complicated than that. So I think that that's really awesome. And so just as I was noticing, like as you hit change, it was giving you the option for like the custom page and then the copy of the home page. So it in the system, it doesn't let you like choose your schedule page or something like that as your home page, because those are like different types of pages.
Yeah, those are different types of pages. But what you could do is you could build out whatever kind of schedule page you wanted. And then because you can embed the scheduler, that's another embeddable widget. So we created all these different widgets and then make that your home page. It won't let you by default select kind of our custom pages. But if there were, if you're like, oh, I really wanted to do that, email us. That's not that hard. We can just add a little option that says, make this my, my homepage. So these are some of the built-in features. And then the other thing you can do is you can change the order of these. So again, it's meant to be intuitive. You can grab this and you can change the order and it'll change the order in your navigation bar just by doing it. It's that quick. So if I wanted to put, blog as the first thing in my navigation bar or the second thing maybe, then I could just put it at the top of the list and it'll show it now on my website. So again, and you can create sub pages, the same thing. So if I wanted to take this custom page and make it a sub page of like memberships, I would just drag it underneath and now it's a drop down page. So again, and if I wanted to put it back, I just drag it back over.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool and super intuitive as well. So thanks for walking us through that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, I know you mentioned something else you guys have been working on has been like the online course builder, which has obviously been super helpful for people, I'm sure, over the last 2 years as everything's really pivoted online and stuff. Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, happy to. So what we do is you'll see here, actually, there's, well, I'll start at the beginning. Within the online store, you can create these sections. And so these sections allow you to kind of block or chunk whatever you're doing. So if you have like a video library and you want to maybe organize it by different parts of the body, if it's like exercises for different parts of the body, or maybe it's different styles of practice that you want to offer or whatever. I mean, you can really create however many sections you want. And what that looks like, I'll show you what it looks like on the actual site here. So if I go here to the website, you should now see that. And if I go to, under, I think I put it over here, yeah, store, you'll see these sections. So now you can see how they're, it's really created these sort of drop down categorizations, and there you are. Hey,
Yeah,
there's Amanda.
like, there's someone familiar.
Yeah, and then it's got this neat little carousel feature where you can kind of scroll through the carousel of what's in there. The other thing it does is it has a built-in search feature. So if you want to search for, like, let's say I only want to find things that are codes, like discount codes, it'll immediately pull that up when I search for it. Or if I want to find, let's say, just the overview, right? It'll do that. Or if I only want to find things that Amanda's done, hang on, why is it not showing me? What do we call it? oh, how to scale. It's got to be on the title. How to scale, then it'll show the video from Amanda. So it
Cool.
basically allows you to search by whatever you call this thing. It'll then search for that, and it'll filter what's there. So, and then you can also have these expanded views where if you want to show more of the detail, you can do that, and it shows a full scale listing of everything. Otherwise, it's got this neat little carousel where you can collapse it and just kind of have it scroll through. So a lot of what we've been doing is really updating the features of this. And if you click on this, each thing will have its own specific landing page. It'll show you what's included. So whatever you've included in your store item. So it gives you this nice sort of splash page for people to be able to come and visit whatever store item you're providing.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And then I can show you on the back end what it looks like, just so you get a sense. So like if I click into this store item, you can customize a lot of different things. You can add custom tags if you want to have tags. Again, this will help with searchability and that little quick filter thing I showed. You can have a whole bunch of different options. You know, you can do waivers, online payments, whether it's donation-based, sliding scale, fixed fee. You can have it be a member-only perk or a package holder-only perk if you want to do that. You can limit the access time. So if it's more like a rental, like you want people to be able to have access to this for a month or 2 months, you can do all that. And then when you actually go into the store item builder, again, it's a very intuitive system. You just drag and drop. So if I had a file, I would drag it into this box and it would start uploading it. And you can do PDFs, videos, audio. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can embed your own like survey forms if you want to build out self-assessment tools. A lot of our users will do that. Well, they'll add in like a self-scored Google form. And you can do that just by clicking this add code. You'd paste the embed code from the Google form. You click save, and then it shows up as an item in the store. And then when people look at it, I'll show you what it looks like from the student's view. It has this nice little over here that you can expand out and see all the content, and you can hide it if you don't want it. And then it's got, it'll just play whatever the content is directly in the viewer. And all of this is mobile. So the other thing that we do is a lot of our, it'll look a little overwhelming here for just a second, but all of our engineers are mobile developers. So if I click this and then I change this to a mobile view, let me actually get you on to like, let's do an iPhone 5, for example, or maybe an iPhone. No one uses an iPhone 5 anymore. Let's go iPhone. There you go. And then you can actually interact with it. So it shows you kind of what it looks like on a mobile format, and it still plays. And then you've got all the drop-down menus. So again, all of this is designed to work on a mobile phone as well.
Cool. This looks great. And then, so I saw before that there was like a place to add text. If somebody added some text, where does that show up on here?
Yeah. So if I go back into the little builder, let me do that for a second. Actually, I'll go to this one maybe. So if you add text like here, like I could say week 1, welcome to week 1. We're super excited to have you in the course, et cetera, right? And so then I would hit save. And then what it does is it creates this new block, and then I can drag and drop it where I want. And then it becomes another element within the course. So if I go back to preview, it'll now show that week 1 text. And then you can kind of click through the content. And we also now have added in modules. So you can create these little modules, containers. So if you're doing like week 1, week 2, week 3. And the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be building or bringing over all that stuff we did on the website to this text editor. So now you can have a really fancy, page with graphics and special code blocks and all these different things. So that's going to be the next enhancement that'll be coming very quickly in 2022. So we're going to take all those features that we did, all the hard work we did with the website builder, and bring it over to the course builder.
Oh, awesome. So it'll kind of be like you could create like a sales page almost with it.
Exactly. And you could create, so the idea is that we have, these basic sales pages that are available. So if I go back to like, actually, I'll just show you on the main website here. Let's go, there we go. So these kind of sales pages where you can customize this, but right now it's pretty limited, right? Like you can put the text in, you could make it bolded, you can underline, you can add, indent, you can do some formatting and stuff like that. but you couldn't build out the whole page and stylize it in these different ways. Whereas with that new website builder that we've implemented, that functionality is there. So we just have to bring it over to these other parts.
Awesome. And so you kind of showed on this page, there was like all those different sections and stuff. So say you wanted to add like a new section with new videos and stuff like that. How would we do that?
Yeah, I can show you that. So I'll go back to, I got too many tabs open here. Let me go back to my store page. And let's say I wanted to add a new section. What would you want to call it?
Let's call it like videos, maybe.
Videos. Okay. And then you can decide if you want to, show the section title heading, or if you just want to hide it, you can hide it. Do you want to publish it right away? And do you want to have it be in that expanded view where it shows everything, or be it in the carousel? So if you don't check the expanded view, it'll just have that carousel. And then I go ahead and hit, and if you're not sure what this does, you just hover over this and it'll tell you what it does. So you don't have to remember any of this. So I go ahead and hit save. And then there's that new section. So there's videos. And let's say I wanted to take, your video and put it down in this new section. I literally just drag and drop it. They'll say, hey, looks like you're moving it. Do you want to move over to videos? Hit move. And then now if I look under videos, there it is.
That's awesome.
And so if I go, so it's kind of like if you've ever used some of those online document things where, they got a move feature and you drag and drop, it's just like that. So all of this is interactable. You can move it around and it'll, prompt you to do different things. And it'll pull up this little, oh, it looks like you're trying to move something. Where do you want to move it? And then if I go back to the page, you can see this. And if I go, let me find the right one. Here we go. Go back to store. And then if I refresh this, you'll now see that under videos, there's the item. And since there was nothing in that other one that we had, it just doesn't show the section because it's smart enough to realize, oh, you don't have anything under that section. I'm not going to show it.
Okay. So, that's cool. And then, so all of these things are set to be free, but if we wanted to make them paid, how do we do that?
Yep, I can show you that. So again, that's just a couple clicks of a few buttons. So let's say I wanted to, and I'll redo this real quick. I'll put this back under learning. There we go. And I'll just unpublish this section for a minute. And then if I wanted to make something paid, so let's say I wanted to take this roster messages and make this paid, I can go ahead and hit edit, and then I can say accept online payments. And then you'll see what it does is it pops down these whole series of new options where you can say, okay, what's the price? Let's say this was 20 bucks. And then it'll say, are you doing tiered pricing or donations? And if you're doing fixed fee, you don't have to check any of this. But if you want to make it more complex and allow, donation based or sliding scale, you can turn on this option. You could say, this is the base price. This is let's say 15. And then I'm going to add in maybe supporter rates, that's going to be $30 and et cetera, et cetera. And then you could then enable this. And for simplicity's sake, I'll turn it off, but that's how you would do that. And you can also set donations, minimum donation amounts, or it can be actually 0 if you want to make it truly donation based. So for simplicity, I'll keep it just at the $20. It'll ask you which account you're having it go to. So you can set up, your bank accounts. And then depending on which plan you're on, so we have 2 different plans. One plan is, it's a lower monthly fee with a small transaction fee. It's 1.9%. That's the transaction fee from OfferingTree. And we give you the option to pass that on or absorb it. So that's why you're seeing this option here. If you're on the higher price plan, you pay a higher monthly, but there's no transaction fee. So 0 transaction fee, but a higher monthly price, in which case it doesn't matter because you can see it doesn't affect if I'm absorbing, because this was on the higher plan.
That's why it's not changing the price.
That's why there's no change, because there's no transaction fee. But if I was on the lower price plan, you'd see these numbers change because there's the 1.9% transaction fee. So that's why that's not changing. And then once you're done, all you do is you can hit save item. And if you're not changing anything else. And then now when I go back to that page and I look at, I have to remember which item, roster messages. So let's go take a look at that. We'll go look at, I think it's this one. Here we go. I'll refresh the page. Now, if I go over to roster messages, where is it? Somewhere here. Here it is. Now it's got a $20 price on it. See? So if I click,
okay.
if I click Ross, and I could change the call to action, I can customize as well, right? So if it's a little confusing that it says watch, but if I wanted to call it out that it was a paid course, all I'd have to do is go back into that item. So like roster messages, I'd hit edit, and then rather than watch, I would put buy, and then I would hit save item. And then when I go back and take a look at this, I can go back one page. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll just make this full view. Now it says buy. So you can customize all of that. So you can signal that we want to give you as much flexibility in terms of how it displays and what it looks like, and being able to change the call to action and the descriptors, all that stuff. And you can also change the order. So it's like, well, you know what? I want to put that buy course towards the top of the page as opposed to the last item, because I don't think anyone's going to see it. Then what you do is you go back into your store. I'll do that here. I look under learning. Whoops, tutorials. There we are. And then I would just take roster and I would drag it all the way up to the top, release it. Oh, take it one more up. There it is. And then when I go back and refresh this, it should be at the top. Let's take a look. So there it is, front and center, roster messages.
Awesome, that's great. And so then if somebody wants to, like, say you want to be selling like a package of videos, can you walk us through like how you would add like more than one thing to one, I guess like one item you're buying, like one item in the store?
Absolutely. So that's you're kind of exactly intuiting what you'd want to do, which is you'd want to use packages, because packages allows you to bundle things together. So you could create a package and you could call this the awesome video bundle. I would never actually do that, but this is what, just for simplicity. So this is the awesome video bundle. Yeah. And then you could change the image of what the bundle looks like. You'd say, how much does it cost for the bundle? So maybe it's like, let's say, I don't know what I say, 20 for the other one. So I'll say $60 for a package of 3. And then what you can do is you can start to select different things that it applies to. And I think this is, let me just make sure I'm in the right settings. Oh, you know what? This is going to actually let me, give me 1 second. I have to come at it a slightly different way. Let me go back over here. And do it this way. I can create the one-time membership this way. I think this will let me do it. Oh no, it's not gonna let me do it. Hang on. There's a setting. This is where me being not the engineer, they've changed the settings on me. So I have to think about where they put the bundle feature for the videos. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
So under learning, just want to go in here. Roster. Oh yeah, that's why. So you have to allow memberships and access, and then you can choose which memberships get access. So you have to turn this on first. That's why I was like, why am I not seeing that as an option? So if you choose it on first, you can then designate which level, whether it's a package or membership, gets that particular access. So let me go back and then I'll show you. I just was doing one step too soon. So if I create this and say it's the awesome video bundle, and say here is the awesome video bundle. Yeah. And then I would go ahead and create whatever the price is. So I think I said 120. And then you can decide, so like for this one, you don't really need to set the credits. I mean, you can, so like, let's just say I set it as 1 credit. And then you can, you don't need to set any of the offerings. You can actually just leave it null and void, or you can apply the package to apply to other things. What I'll do is I'll just leave it for simplicity's sake, so I can show you the bundle. So here's the awesome video bundle. And then what I'm going to do is go back to the store. And then within the store, you can actually add in to that bundle. So like, let's say you wanted to add in these 3, right? And you can, the nice thing is you can edit it however you want to do it. So what I would do is I click this little allow membership, and then I would click on, okay, it's the awesome video bundle that's included in this package. And then I hit save, and then I would go to the next item that I want to add. So like, let's say I want to add, something down in learning, like I want to add Amanda, your course. So then I would hit edit. And then again, I would go down to available to members and package, choose it and say it's the awesome video bundle, hit done, and then save the item. And so you can just layer in however many things you want for that package. And then what it'll do is it'll actually show you that package with those bundles. So that's how you would layer in whatever you want to do. And you can layer in other things too. So you could layer in, if you wanted to be a bundle with videos and whatever offerings you're providing, whether it's online or in person, you can bundle that as well. You can remove those if you don't want them. You can sort of create these mix and match components. You can also use, another way to do it is use discounts. So sometimes people want to use a discount code to add a bundle. So you can say, I want to give a special rate for a bundle, right? So I'll say this is the awesome video bundle discount. And I'll make a silly code, right? And then I could say you get 10% off. And then what's the 10% off you get with this bundle? Well, you can go down here and you can start to choose your store items. So you can choose your store items and say, I want it to be roster messages. I want it to be scheduling. I want it to be the Amanda's course again. And then if I ever want this to expire, like I'm running a seasonal promotion, you could set up a specific date to end it. You can either set a percentage off or a dollar amount off. You can specify how many times somebody can use this code. I mean, lots of different ways you can customize it. So I'll keep it simple. I'll hit create, and now that discount code is created. So now you could send out to your newsletter and say, hey, I've got this awesome video bundle discount where you just use the code when you check out, and you will get 10% off of all these videos that are part of this discounted promotion. So that's another way you can do it. You can do it from a discount angle. You can do it from a packages angle. You can do it from a memberships angle. There's kind of multiple ways in.
Depending on like how you want to set it up and stuff.
Correct. And that's really the power of this system, which is that all of the features, because they're linked, they work together. So like one feature will talk to another feature, which talks to another feature. And another example of that is if you go back to pages, let's say I wanted to create a custom member page that only members could access. I would create that unique page and then I would hit edit. And when I start editing this, you can see that actually page access settings, here's the members only. And then I can modify what membership level gets access to that page. So again, all of the features kind of, you'll see that commonality, right? When I went into the store item, there was the same similar kind of widget to be able to edit things. Same thing's true for pages, same thing's true for discount codes. So they all kind of work together.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks for walking us through all of that. And one question I had was around waivers. I think it's so awesome that with like all these different videos and stuff, you have the choice for waivers and whatnot. Is there a way to like say I'm a student of yours and I'm signing up for something? Is there a way that like the system recognizes that like I've signed a waiver before? Or is it like if you choose the waiver, somebody has to sign it regardless?
It'll recognize if you've saved it. So I can show you that. So for example, I might go to a staging site. Let me think about this. I'll show you the waivers for a second. So what it does is you can create multiple waivers. You can have waivers apply to different things. So and again, this is the power of the system. You could have a waiver just for your online courses. You could have a waiver for your video courses. You could have a waiver for your in-person courses, and each of those could be different, and you can apply that waiver to those different events. Now, if somebody signed it and they're signed into the system, it'll recognize and say, hey, you've already signed this waiver. You don't need to sign it again. So unless you've changed it, in which case it'll bring the waiver back up again. So if you go into roster, I don't have anybody signed up. I can create a quick thing to show you what that looks like. Let me think about this for 1 second. Let's see what we've got here. This online offering, I can sign up for this. Allow registrations. I'll turn off payment to make it simpler. That's good. Don't send this in all future. So it gives you very similar to calendars. We'll say, do you want to update this thing and all future things or just this one thing? So let me go to the website. I will register for that calming yoga. I think, yep, there it is. Register. It's a tiered pricing. Give me 1 second. Let me go back. Let me find This one, I think, is the one I edited. Yeah, it doesn't have a payment, I don't think. There we go. All right, so I'll register with this. And I'm getting a little ahead. I should show you how the waivers work. Let me show you that first. So if I go back to the schedule page, what you can do is if you go down here under, I think this is the one I edited. Oh no, maybe it was this one. I can't remember. Is it this one? I'll edit this one. I'm confusing myself. So let me turn off pricing just to show it's easier, but I can still, so I'm editing the scheduling of the event. And you'll see it's very similar. You pick a date, you pick a start time, there's a duration, how long does it run, time zones, if you want it to repeat, if it's online or in person. But then down here, you'll see that there are these additional registration options, and it will allow you to set max capacity, require a waiver, have a registration window, and even set up these custom notifications, email, text messaging, things like that. The text messaging is only on the higher plan though, so you can always customize email messaging, but if you really want custom texting, like you want to text reminders and things like that, that's on the higher plan, just because it's a little bit more costly for us to have that as a feature. So if you do the require waiver consent, which is what I was going to show you, you'll notice that there's a default waiver here. You can also create a new waiver right out of the box. If you edit this, it'll show you what the waiver looks like. We have some kind of language in there that's, it's a best practice, but you can tweak and edit whatever you'd like. And then once you select that default waiver and you hit save, and let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing so I can find it on the schedule. So it's yoga flow on the 22nd. So once I hit save, I'm not going to send anything to those, this in future. Okay, so I think I chose yoga flow on the 22nd. So now if I go back to the site, I hit more events. I find that yoga flow on the 22nd, this is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then it'll, when I hit register, you'll now see there's this, I agree to terms and conditions. So this is the waiver.
Okay.
And there it is. And then I hit agree. And then once I'm registered, I'll hit register. It takes me to a confirmation page. So it's really that quick, right? I can add it to my calendar with all the information. It'll say, hey, just a reminder, check your email. Here's the join information for online. If I needed to join like right now, because sometimes students sign up like a minute before class. All of that is there for you. Now, when I go back into the back end, you'll now see that there's a registration right here. So it says 1 for under my roster for Yoga Flow. And if I look at this, I can actually click on this person and it'll bring up all of their information about, did they purchase packages, did they purchase memberships? It'll show the registration. So there's the Yoga Flow, that's the history. It also shows their signed waiver, December 21st, default waiver. And they signed the version that was created in February 21st, back in 2020. So that's the version of the waiver they signed. So it logs all of that for you in the system.
Okay, that's awesome. And so then if like Katie Sample, for example, goes to register for another class, she doesn't have to send the waiver again.
Correct, because it'll recognize that, hey, you've already signed this waiver and you signed the version, unless you change it, right? If you change the waiver or you update it, then she's gonna have to re-sign it because you've now made a modification. But if it's the same waiver at the same version, it'll say, yep, you've already signed it. You don't need to sign this.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for walking us through that.
Yeah, and so there's a lot in here. Just to, again, I was flying through this, but if you click at this, you can see the roster where you can send messages, you can manage their payments, refund it, cancel it, and you can also see their detail by just clicking on it, and it shows you all of their details. So it's like, oh yeah, what is this student? What's their background again? What are they? Oh, look, they've purchased some store items. They've got a registration. Oh yeah, okay. And you can look back at their historical registration. So a lot of information for those of you that like data.
Okay, awesome. Do you see access to, like, say she had a credit card in there? Would we see can we run purchases for our students in the back end?
You can do registrations. That is a feature. Let me see. I'll show you what it looks like. So if I go into, let's go into maybe, let me get a good example. Let's say midday meditation. What you can do is you can add people in the back end. So you can add registration. You can search for contacts by looking for them. And so in this case, I'll search for let's say Katie Sample. There's Katie Sample. And then it'll kind of fill in the information. I can continue and I can say, yes, I want you to register. Registration. Oh, that event's been canceled. Give me a second. That's so the system will tell you, hey, it looks like you canceled that one. That one doesn't work. So let me find, I think I had calming yoga. Is that one that I didn't cancel? Okay. So let's try that again. So Katie sample, and then I can hit continue, and then it'll bring up this option to pay. So it'll say, well, this is what you would see if you were registering, right? And
Yeah.
then you can say, okay, I think it's going to be $10 student rate. It'll still ask for the card. One of the features that has been requested is for us to be able to check to see whether they have a card on file and then charge that card. That is something that is, we're releasing actually in the new year. This is going to be a big thing, a whole studio package with all reporting features. And so that's like an essential feature, like, check-in features, all that stuff. Having multiple sign-ins to one account, all of that is part of that system. For right now, if you're registering somebody, you would just say, okay, well, I'm registering them, I'm putting them in. You can have them pay you later, or you can just say, okay, I'm ready, can you give me your credit card? And you enter it, and then it'll register, send them
Okay.
an email, and put it out there.
So you can't it's not saving it in the system right now, but you could be on the phone with your student or have it via email or something like that.
Correct. And there is an option. I can see, let me go, I can show you this. There's a whole student dashboard that's included. So students have their own dashboard, which is pretty cool. Let me give you an example of what that looks like. I don't think Katie Sample has a credit card stored, but let's look. So if I go here, right, I can actually see if I'm logged in as the teacher, but I'm also a student because I registered with Katie Sample for an event. So I can see both views, user dashboard and managing my site as the administrator. If I click the user dashboard, this is like the student or client, they can see all of the things that they've interacted with on the site. They can see the registrations, they can see if they've had any purchased packages, memberships, it's like this one doesn't, store items, if they've got any store items and when it expires. So this is super helpful for you as a teacher to not have to be like, oh my gosh, I have to look up all that information. You can just tell the student to go in themselves. There's also this payment method. So Katie Sample doesn't have any payment methods saved. It's possible. We could try that right now. Let me think if, I think what'll happen is if there's a saved payment, well, I know what'll happen. It'll show the saved payment and they can update their own payment themselves. What I don't know is whether or not we've implemented this, again, because I'm not the, the programmers, whether you can charge that payment if it's saved. I can check that in just a minute. We'll check it out. And then on the account side, they can update their phone number, their email address, their picture. They can do all of that themselves. They can even cancel registration. So they don't have to email you to cancel registration. They can actually view a registration and then they can go ahead and say, you know what, actually, I want to be able to cancel this registration. So there's a whole bunch of things that you can do within the system that allows you to, it gives you a student view to be able to do that.
Awesome.
So let me see if I can answer that question about the saved. Give me 1 second. I'm going to flip over to a different site. And what we'll do is we'll take a peek and see. This is a different sample site and user dashboard. Payment method. Yes. So you can see here, here's where the student has a payment method on file. So they could edit or update their payment method. It tells them when the expiration date is, it shows who the card is associated with it. So let's see whether if I register this student, let me make sure I've got their correct info. So this would be hello, this one. Okay. So let's see what happens. We may have implemented it. This is new to me. Kind of exciting. I'll go to the schedule. And actually, I'll go to the roster. Let's find one here. Let's say they're going to sign up for this gentle flow. Add a registration. I'll search for the person. There we go. I'll hit continue. And credit card, debit card. Yeah, so it's still asking. So you can, if they have a package, you can charge the package or the credit. It'll give you the option to do it that way. If it looks like they still have to enter the credit card, even though the payment is on file. So that new feature about being able to charge somebody's credit card is going to be part of the studio features that we're building out, because that's more common typically for studios to want to be able to do that. That being said, if everyone's like, I really want that feature, we'll probably then be able to roll it into the other things, because that's how this works.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thanks for that. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited to hear about the studio features coming in 2022. I think that that's going to be really cool.
Well, I can show you a little sneak peek. I can't actually demo it, I don't think right now. I'm on a staging site, which allows me to peek into the future.
Mhm.
And there is I don't know if I see it right now. I don't see it. There used to be a staff button that you could click on, but it seems to have, the developers have hidden it, so I can't show it.
That's okay. That's okay. We
Yeah.
can do another one of these. We'll have to just wait.
Yeah.
We have a question from Ashley. She said, do people still have to input their email address to watch/buy a free store item?
Yeah, I think let's try that. That's a great question. So I will create a store item that is totally free. So we'll go down here. Let's find tutorials. Let's go to like offerings. So that's free. Require waiver watch. Yeah, so we can test this one. So let's try this offerings and let's see what happens.
Okay.
We'll go to my store and we'll go to offerings. I hit view. Nope, I don't need to. So I can
You can
just
just
hit
go
view.
look at it.
Just go look at it. Although let me try one thing. I'm a little suspicious because I'm signed in as Katie Sample. So let me try this a different way. Give me a second. Let's just see if that's the case. I think it's recognizing that I'm signed in, and so it's like, oh,
Right.
you don't need to sign in. Let's go back. So I'll take this. I'm going to put it on a different window, and give me a half second. And I'll go to, and then I'll switch over so you can see what I'm seeing. So let me change my view. Give me
Okay.
1 second. And here you go. Okay, so I'm just in whoops, I put the old one on again, sorry. It's this one, I think. Yes, okay, so this is just an incognito view. So it doesn't remember that I'm signed in because it says sign in here. So this is how I can test it. So if I hit watch, yeah, it still requires an email. And we do that because we want you to know who's accessing it. And so that also it's building out your list. Although I will say, Ashley, if that's something that you're like, I don't want that, I want an option to turn that off, email us, send us an email at support@offeringtree.com and we'll add it into the queue.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
And I know you'd mentioned tags as, oh, Ashley has another question. Maybe we'll go into that first. She said,
Sure.
what if you had to, like, quote unquote, require waiver?
Require waiver for which, for like a video?
Yes, or like a class, maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can do that for, let me switch screens. Thanks for bearing with me. This
No
is
worries.
part of, let's go to this one. I think it's this one. Yeah, all right.
It's funny how Zoom doesn't let you like switch between different things you're doing.
No, you have to like, blip, blip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can show you the waivers. So the waivers will show up in any of the core features. So what it'll do is if you look at, let me think of a good example. Well, I'll go back to the schedule. So if I go back to my schedule example, actually, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong site here. Let me go over to this one. Yeah, this is the one I was using before. So if I look at, let's say this yoga flow and I edit it, to turn on that waiver, all I have to do is sort of within this creating the event, I click show additional and then I hit require waiver. And as soon as I do that, it'll now require it. So you can't register unless you agree to the waiver. If you don't want to have a waiver, you just turn it off. So that's how you do it for a course. You can also do it for this and all future events. Oh, hang on. Why did I? Oh, I know why, because I didn't turn on the, here, let me go back. If I go to the store item, let me show you where that is. And I click on edit the store item, you can require a waiver here. So again, you can require a waiver even for an online offering. And it's the same thing. They won't be able to go, even if it's a free offering, they won't be able to get it until they agree to your waiver.
Okay.
So, and that email will then tag it to the waiver as well.
Okay.
Does that, hopefully that answers the question?
Yeah, she said my question was answered. So,
oh, cool. Great.
Like she's good. And she said she does want them to input their email. So it's a good thing.
Yay, good.
No,
I'm happy to hear that.
No emails coming your way.
Good. Well, yeah, we try to anticipate that, right? We try to anticipate how you want to use it, but then we don't always get it right. So if we don't, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thank you for that. And I know another thing you said that's coming soon is tags. Can you
Yes.
tell us,
I'm
show us a bit more about that?
I might be able to sneak preview that. I don't know. Let me see. Hang on, give me a second. I'm
Okay.
sure the engineering team is like, what are you doing? It's in testing mode, but let me just say, I like doing this. I'm a little bit of a maverick, so I like to, when they're like, yeah. So hang on, let me see if I can find it. And then if I can find it, I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, I think this will work. Manage tags. Ha, I found it. All right. Just full disclosure, this is in beta, so it's still in testing, right? Which is, and I love the engineering team, but they always get a little nervous when I preview things. So
I
you're
mean,
getting to
that's
see this.
fair. You've got like clients watching and stuff.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I get it. I mean, this thing, it's in beta, so it might crash on us in just a second, but let me show you anyways, because it's kind of fun.
Okay.
And so how do you get to this? So what we're doing, and the look and the feel will probably change because we try to make it a little bit more aesthetically appealing so that we're getting the functionality down. But the way to get to this, if you go to contacts, you won't see this in your offering tree right now because this is all, in beta.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Exactly. Thank you. I was trying to think of the word. But what you can do is you can start to search. These are included tags. Like the system will automatically generate a whole bunch of tags for you if you want to use them, so you don't have to do them. You can also exclude certain tags. So if you want to see only people that don't have that tag, so you can filter your contacts by the tags that you've identified. And then if you want to apply new tags, you can manage these tags. And you'll see there's this section that's auto-generated. So it shows you all of the contacts by all of these auto-generated tags. Like if they bought up, if they accessed a store item, if they bought a particular item. And if you're like, I don't want to see all that, you just hide it. And then if you want custom tags, you can create a tag and you can say, I want this to be, like my, favorite, well, I shouldn't say that, that's it would be like my VIP students or something like that, the students that really come all the time or something like that, and you want to track them. So then you would create that tag, and you'll see down below now that it's got this sort of my VIP students, and it'll show you then the number of contacts that you have. And if you go back, you can start applying these tags to those contacts. So if I go to let's take this test, these are all test emails. I don't know if they've implemented, let me see, download, create contact. Oh yeah, I don't know if I can show you yet. Maybe I can, let me see. This is me playing around. Send a tags to include, send a tags, send a message. Yeah, I don't know if I can show you this yet. But what it'll let you do is you can apply these tags, and you can also then automatically apply the tags. And then the power of this is that once you have those tags set up, when you go to email marketing and you create a new newsletter, you can filter it by the tags. So you can see right here where you can say, I want to include everyone with this tag. I want to exclude everyone with this tag. And I'm going to send those messages only to those people that fall into this filtering mechanism. So that's what's coming in the new year. So that's about as much as I can show you right now. That was the sneak preview, and the system didn't break. Yay.
Yay. I'm glad that we didn't, I
Yeah,
don't want to get
no.
any, I don't want to get any emails from Eddie and the development team. What are you doing?
Yeah, no. I think I told him I might go rogue and show some features that were still in development, but you can see what's coming. So we're constantly working on stuff. And the cool thing is that if you ever want to know what we're doing, just click on what's new, and you'll see that. So here's the customize your websites that came out at the end of November, right? The cancellation policy, you can now add a cancellation policy, and it'll allow you to, your clients and students can cancel their own registrations. You can set up different policies about, is it refund up to a number of hours, all that kind of stuff. And if you're like, well, what is that? That's kind of cool. You click on this and it'll take you to the information about that feature. So you can see we're constantly updating the system with new features. And if you want to know what we're working on, all you have to do is click on what's new, and we're updating it all the time. And then the other neat thing is that if you ever get stuck, you just hit help, and then you can browse help articles. You can also contact support. And if you contact support, there is a bot in case you're contacting us at 2 a.m. I will not be responding. But if you don't like bots, because I know I myself get frustrated with bots, all you have to do is click get in touch, and there's a human on the other end of that. So the bot's there in case it's 2 a.m. But otherwise, if you're like, I just want to talk to somebody, you click get in touch, and there are real humans on the other end of that.
Yes, obviously not answering questions at 2 in the morning though.
No, there will be a delay if you send something at 2 in the morning. But the
Yeah,
bot is always happy and eager to try to help you.
I love it. I mean, those bots serve a purpose, right?
Yeah,
Like they
they
can
do.
get that into the queue for trying to help somebody when the
They-
humans are sleeping.
yeah, they do. And they are useful. I mean, the thing that I don't like is like when you kind of get the bot run around where there's no option to get a human and it's like bot, bot, bot. That's not okay. That's hard to
Yeah,
work with.
no, I completely agree. That just ends up making you want to throw your computer out the window. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
so that's sort of tags. Tags essentially will give you a lot more power to customize communications. Like you can send these individualized newsletters based on these very intricate tag criteria that you set. And then you can set the time, like a future date, set it and forget it. You can add attachments. You can customize the text and, the look and feel of the newsletter, subject lines, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, this is really awesome. I love this, like being able to kind of sort your contacts based on maybe like what classes they're coming to or that type of thing, and being able to send them like specific emails and stuff. So I think this will be a really awesome addition to OfferingTree.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. And then it'll also give you visibility. That's the other big thing that we'll be working on with the new studio features that will be rolling out is like reporting. You'll see a whole bunch of stuff on reporting, which I think will also be really cool for our other users that want to dig into the data. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm excited for all these updates and
Mhm.
really appreciate you walking us through everything.
Mhm.
If anyone has any questions, later on or anything like that, make sure you're just dropping them in the chat in Facebook and we can always answer the questions later. As well as you said, it's support@offeringtree.com to get a hold of you guys, right?
Yep, that's right. Support@offeringtree.com. And yeah, we're here and ready to help with your questions. And really, we hope that it's useful. I mean, everything you see in here, the features, if you like them, that's because somebody in the community was like, hey, I really need this feature. So that's what I find so inspiring. There's a lot of paying it forward. When you offer a suggestion, it then gets built. And then often the users down the line are like, oh my gosh, how did you think of that? Well, because our users told us we didn't have to think of it. It makes our jobs a lot easier. So we love feedback. We love positive, critical, hey, you're doing great, or even meh feedback. It's all good.
Amazing. I love that. And I'm going to put a link to, you guys have an awesome like support community on Facebook. So I'm going to put a link to that in the comments as well so people can check out that. And is there anywhere else people should go if they want to learn more about OfferingTree? OfferingTree.com. I have a
Yeah.
promo code, so I can drop that as well.
Yeah, definitely drop in your promo code because that's a big thing for us is community and partnerships. So we love to be able to partner like with Amanda. So there's a special discount if you come through Amanda's link because we want to be able to pass that along as part of the partnership. So I would definitely drop that link in. And yeah, the other thing is we constantly have free webinars. So even if you're like, oh, that was interesting, but I'm not sure about them, that's part of our public benefit mission is to do education. Those are free. You can find those on our website. Amanda's done a number of them, and we've had others, that present on all kinds of topics. So it's just a way to stay connected to us, even if you're not sure that you want to use us. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put links to that too, because I know you guys have done some really awesome topics and it's been a pleasure to be a guest for them. And I know you guys have had lots of my other yoga business friends on there and whatnot. So I'll make sure there's a link for that as well so people can go check them out. And I feel like, if you're unsure about if OfferingTree is right for you, I feel like that's even a good place to start. Like get to know the community, the team, all of that type of stuff, just start learning.
Yep, I think that's right. And then we also have blogs, a blog, I shouldn't say blogs. We have one blog. And there's a whole bunch of articles on there with tons of information. Again, that's part of our public benefit mission around education and access. So that's all free. Use the blog, use the webinars. Yeah, we hope that you'll be part of our community at whatever level you want to engage.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Alex. This has been really great. I feel like I've learned a lot and hopefully everyone watching has learned as well. And yeah, thanks for doing this so close to the Christmas holiday season.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And just a shout out to everyone that's listening or watching this. I always say this, and it's so important. I mean, what you do matters. There's a huge need right now, as we know, ongoing pandemic. there's amount of anxiety and depression is through the roof. So part of our mission is trying to empower teachers, studios, and everyone to be able to reach communities, provide access, help support, and just really, it's a time of need. So being able to support well-being, physical, mental, is really, really important. And even community well-being is so critical. So finding ways to connect and not be so isolated. So what you do matters. And if we can be of help in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.